All right? It has value. Now, personally, I think all of physics has value. So I know I'm biased. You don't need to tell me that part. I already know. So gauge pressure, the difference between that and atmosphere. That means absolute pressure is going to be gauge pressure plus 1. It's whatever your gauge pressure is plus 1 atmosphere, and you win. All right, but do remember it's 1 atmosphere. Don't just add 1. If your pressure you're measuring is in pounds per square inch, you need to add 14.7. If you're measuring in pascals, you need to add 101.3 kilopascals, or 1.013 times 10 to the 5th pascals. Make sure you get the number. Yes, sir.
So that the gauge pressure is like 1 atmosphere pressure plus the absolute pressure?
No, absolute is 1 atmosphere plus gauge.
Oh, okay.
If you'd put a minus in there, it would have worked. Right? So absolute is gauge plus 1 atmosphere, or the change is the difference between, or all of those things. Different types of pressure gauges. So why do they read 1 atmosphere as 760 torr, 760 millimeters of mercury? In other words, I'm asking, how does that normal gauge actually work? All right. They put a big container here, and my big container is full of mercury. And I take another big tube, close at one end, and open, but like a meter long. And I fill that tube completely with mercury, and I stick it inside here. And I leave the open end inside the mercury, and I raise the top end like this. And let's say here's where it's coming out. What's going to happen is I am going to get a height here of 760 millimeters of mercury. Now, why does it do that? How many of you have ever gone to a fast food place and ordered a drink? Don't they put a plastic lid over the top of it? So how do you drink it?
Straw.
You put a straw in there. So, I put a straw in there and it just sits there. How do you drink it?
Suck.
Oh, physics never sucks. Seriously, physics never sucks. So how do you drink it? You go, oh crap, I don't know what to say now. Okay? You create a lower pressure in your mouth than there is on the outside. And the air pressure on top of your Coke pushes down, yes? And it pushes down hard enough to push the Coke up through the straw into the lower area of pressure. So the reason the Coke does is because it's going from high pressure to low pressure. That's not sucking. That's physics. So physics never sucks. So what happens here? What's up here?
Low pressure.
A vacuum. Yeah, it's really low pressure. This is a vacuum. This whole thing was full of mercury, right? And when I raised it out, this is a glass tube. Air's not going through it, right? It's a vacuum up there. That's like zero pressure. But my outside atmosphere can hold up 760 millimeters of mercury. If it was water, how far could it hold it up? About 33 feet. So if you have a well and you need to pump water out of the well, and your pump's on the top, and you're trying to draw a vacuum, okay, and the water's 40 feet down, you're screwed. Because you could pull an absolute 100% vacuum, and the water's only going to raise 33 feet. You missed it by 7 feet. So what do? You put the pump in the bottom of the well. And the pump can build up as much water pressure as it wants to shoot the water as high as you want. You can't suck it up. Physics doesn't suck. All right? But could I have an air pressure meter of water? Sure. Problem is, water keeps evaporating, water gets polluted, and all those things, right? When I have a mercury one, this one lasts like forever. Right? But that's what the 760 millimeters was, and where it comes from. All right, so there are different types of gauge pressures in tires and do different things. All right, math, pull out calculators.